Today I'm going to be looking at this. This is the OPPO Find X9 Pro, and it may be the most flagship of 2025. It's got a huge battery which gives excellent endurance, superb cameras, it's got polished mature software based on Android 16. Sounds perfect, but there is one caveat for me, and I'll come to that later. It has glass and metal construction, it has a solid premium feel in the hand, and it has the modern design from OPPO with the square camera bump on the back. Clearly built to compete at the very top end against other flagship smartphones. It's got a large 6.78-inch AMOLED panel, LTPO adaptive refresh rate up to 120 Hz. It's bright, vibrant, and it has excellent contrast. Fantastic for video and gaming. It's a traditional glossy smartphone screen, and you may want to make a mental note of that. The OPPO Find X9 Pro has flagship technology. It has a MediaTek Dimensity 9500 flagship chipset. This one has 16 GB of RAM of fast UFS 4.1 RAM, and it has 512 GB of storage. It supports effortless multitasking, split screen. It has excellent gaming performance and it runs all the latest games. Plenty of headroom for future updates. Everything feels very fast in day-to-day use. It's a pleasure to use. Back we have a triple rear camera system. It has a standout 200 megapixel telephoto camera as well as two 50 megapixel cameras, the main and the ultra wide. On the front it has another 50 megapixel front selfie camera. It provides consistent photo and video quality and gives great results day and night. It really is a true flagship camera phone. Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra. I've also used the latest Google Pixel 10 Pro XL. They have great cameras, and this is at least as good as those, if not better perhaps. One of the main standout features, which you've probably already heard about, but is the size of the battery inside this. It is a 7,500 battery. Even with all the high tech in here, if you're doing gaming and everything, you're easily going to get a full day's use out of this phone without any trouble at all. And it will often stretch well into 2 days. It supports fast wired charging, up to 80 watts using one of their Super VOOC chargers. And it also supports fast wireless charging up to 50 watts with one of their AirVOOC chargers. One of the downsides, just mentioning the wireless charger on the back compared to say the Google phones, is it does not have built-in magnets. So it will not stick on without a case. I have bought the official OPPO case, rather expensive here in Australia at $129, but if we're going to be using it with magnetic accessories and stands, it's almost a must-have. I'm sure there'll be cheaper alternatives, but to be fair, it is a very good quality case, and if you're buying this phone to hold on to for any length of time, it could be a good investment. It doesn't bulk up the phone too much either. It keeps it nice and slim. I'll just pop it off for now while we're doing the review. Put that to one side. So this has one of the best battery setups in any phone released in 2025. It has dual SIM support, so it has a physical SIM on the bottom, and it also supports an eSIM. It has flagship connectivity throughout the OPPO Find X9 Pro. Wireless LAN performance up to Wi-Fi 7. It has NFC support for contactless payments. Excellent worldwide LTE coverage. This is the global phone that's designed to cover anywhere in the world. And it has Bluetooth version 6 support for modern accessories. It has a customizable snap key on the side here that allows us to program it to do different things on the phone. And it has a dedicated camera button on this side, which is also a slider that allows you to zoom in and out when you're using the zoom on the camera. They're small details, but they can make better. It comes with, as I mentioned, Android 16 with the OPPO's ColorOS 16 on top. It's smooth, it's stable, feature-rich without feeling too cluttered. It does have some good, strong customization options and provides excellent day-to-day usability. I think it's one of the better Android skins available. Some people complain that it's a little bit too much like Apple's, but Apple are a smart company and they design generally a good, I'm saying generally because of the new release, the glass they released recently that a lot of people don't seem to like. But OPPO have copied what I think are the best features from Apple, and there's nothing wrong with doing that. Okay, just taking a look around the OPPO Find X9 Pro user interface. You have a typical home screen. You can slide sideways to other screens and you can change the transition. I quite like this cube transition. If we go the other way, we go to the Google Discovery feed. Nice smooth scrolling, nice bright screen. Very nice. We slide down from the top left, we get our notification shades. Slide down from the top right, and we get our quick setting tiles. These can be modified both in size, layout, and you can add additional tiles to the screen as well. We've got our settings icon at the top there, and that allows us to jump into the settings. And as we can see, they are very similar to the way it lays out its settings and some Android phones, but it's easy to find your way around. It's really easy to scroll through and see the different things. We have our main system key here, and we have software updates, but we're already running the latest version of Color OS 16. Oh, what do you know? A download. Have to do that in a minute. So not a new version, but it'll be an update for the current version. So I'll install that later. Go back in. If we go down from the top, we have, it's now telling me I've got a software update, obviously airplane mode. You've got our Wi-Fi to select, Bluetooth, mobile network settings, and device connect, which allows us to connect to other devices like Android Auto, PCs, tablets, TVs, etc. The next section covers the home screen and the lock screen, and we can change our backgrounds. It supports quite a bit of adaptability when it comes to the backgrounds, including these rather slick looking ones where the clock appears behind a moving scene. So in this one, the clouds come up when it's in use. Personally, I prefer to keep it fairly simple. These are called flux themes. You can always change your always on display. At the moment, I've got it set to black, but if you want to, you can put the screen on that you're using as the background. You can change the icon shapes. There are various different options. You can choose which ones you want. And again, being boring, I tend to stick to the classic one, although I have reduced the size of the icons and I've removed the text or the name of the app from underneath. You change your font size on the screen. Again, not something I've particularly played with. And we can change lock screen settings. I've got it so it shows my email address. Under that, we've got display and brightness. So I've got it set at light mode at the moment. And the brightness, as you can see, is probably around about 70%. It goes up extremely bright indeed, and it goes very dim indeed. In fact, almost unreadable, and it's down there. Now I've got to struggle to get it back, aren't I? Having gone off screen there, I've managed to get the brightness back. I'll put it up to about 70%. To be honest, I don't use auto brightness or adaptive brightness on any of my phones because I find they're never quite accurate enough. They always seem to get it too dark when I want it brighter, and then too bright when I want it dark. You can choose different screen color modes. I've got it set in standard. You can go for natural, you can go to vivid. Let's put it in vivid, shall we? There's various eye care system settings you can put on, an adaptive tone, font display size, etc. You can choose whether to auto rotate the screen. I've got screen offset at 30 minutes just because I'm recording a video. Normally I'd have it shorter than that. Sound and vibration. Again, we can ring, vibrate, or silent, or a combination of the things. We can change the vibration intensity, and you can change the volume for different aspects or part of the phone. I've got do not disturb on at the moment, so it's switched them off. Notifications are quick settings. Again, we can modify the look of this. We can hide notification details on the lock screen. We can do various things like that. Security and privacy. It will update and scan the device when we ask it to. Obviously, you've got your location controls, and you've got various Google warnings you can switch on or off as you wish. Your app screen, so you can go in, you can change your default app. Battery, one of the standouts of this is the battery life. It is superb, and you can change it to put different power saving or high performance mode. I've chosen to put it in balanced mode. And if you want to put it in super power saving mode, as it says on the screen there, you'll get 37 hours, 38 minutes. At the moment in the balance mode I'm getting 32 hours 43 minutes, so it's not that big a gain, so I'm not that bothered about it. The snap key is the key on the left hand side, and as you can see it allows us to choose different options. I've got it currently set to the mind space. This is OPPO's built-in AI note recording facility, or screenshot recording facility as well. We can change it to sound and vibration. We could put do not disturb on it. We could switch on the camera. You can use it to activate the torch. You can use the recorder, the voice recorder. They've got a translate feature, got a screenshot feature, or you can switch it off completely. As I say, I have got it set to the mind space. Usual accessibility options, same with most Android phones, especially Android 16. We've got OPPO's AI, so Mindspace is the one I've already mentioned, but you've got things like AI search, AI writer, AI translate, voice scribe, AI camera, AI... Anyway, I'm not going to go into this because nearly all modern flagship smartphones have some form of AI built in, most of it built on Google's Gemini. The Mindspace I do find quite interesting. This allows us to save information into a dedicated space, the mind space, and then it will summarize and categorize the information that you've saved into there. It says it keeps your privacy, and then you can search in that area. So if I go back out of here, back to the home screen, this is the mind space icon, and if I go into here, it automatically tries to put things you've saved into different categories, and you can just save things that you want to save. Now, you can't go in and just create a note, but what you can do is you can save a voice recording, or any screenshots you take get saved into the device as well. And the way we use the Mindspace key, if I press and hold it and keep it held, it is now doing a voice recording. When I let go of the snap key, that voice recording will automatically be saved into the Mindspace. If I let go now, it's now gone up and it tells us at the top it's been added to the Mindspace. The other thing I can do is I can do a double tap. That will take a screenshot, and that will then save that into the Mindspace and analyze it as well. Going back to those settings, system update about the device, and that will tell us, give us a summary of this particular device. And as we can see, I've got the OPPO Find X9 Pro. I've got 512 gigabytes of storage and only 83.6 gigabytes has been used. It's running on a MediaTek Dimensity 9500. I have a battery of 7,500 milliamp hours, and it's a silicon carbon battery. RAM, 16 gigabytes built in, and it's using 12 gigabytes of RAM of random access memory. You can choose from 12, 8 or 4 to help boost that. Tells you a bit about the cameras in here and some of the camera technology that's built in and what it can do. As I said, they have very good cameras, and it's got good AI behind the cameras as well that allows you to modify your photos. I've found the photographs to be very good on this. Tells us the software version, so it's running on 16.0.1.302, and we have seen there is an update available. We've got a performance booster. I don't want the notifications on, but it shows us what resources are being used, and it gives us various things we can look at. The display is a 6.78 inch Pro XDR display that supports eye care. Gives us the model number. This is model CPH2791, and there are various legal stuff at the bottom. I think the user interface, as I've mentioned, is a very smart one. I think it's smooth and fluid, and it seems to have modification you would like to do on your phone. So you can change the screen layout, you can change the icons, you can change your backgrounds and things like that. So it's a nice modifiable version of Android without going over the top. There are a few apps that are the OPPO apps themselves. What I do like is when you go into the app drawer, you have the typical all apps. That's what most smartphones provide, but you also have a categorize. And this is where the phone automatically tries to categorize your apps into certain boxes. You might find that useful. This is the way that Apple does it, so something they've copied from them. The beauty is they don't force you to do one or the other. And when you're on the list of all the apps, I like the fact that we have an alphabet down the side, so we can click on a letter and jump straight to those particular apps. On paper then, it's outstanding in pretty much every way. It's more powerful than my daily phone. It has better cameras, better battery life. There is one caveat for me. The screen, beautiful though it is very glossy and highly reflective, and that's common with a lot of smartphones, particularly the flagship phones with the bright screens. Now, some companies, I understand Apple in their latest iPhone 17 and also Samsung in their S25 Ultra, they've tried to mitigate this by using anti-reflective layers within the screen technology. And I had the S25 Ultra and it was certainly better than most glossy phones, and better than this. I've looked at the Apple, the iPhone 17. I don't think it's quite as good as the S25 Ultra. You can tell it's there, but it still reflects quite a bit. So in daily use, readability matters, and reflections can be a bit of a pain. Now, I prefer this kind of technology. This is the TCL NXTPAPER 60 Ultra, and it has a matte, non-reflective screen. Probably quite difficult to tell looking on the camera here, maybe if I tilt them a little bit, but in daily use, that's actually quite a lot more reflection. Also, I imported this and it cost me under $900, and it came with a stylus, a magnetic case and a folio case, all for under 900 Australian dollars. The OPPO flagship as it is 2,300 Australian dollars. So I'm a bit surprised, because I thought when I bought this, state of the art that it is, this is the one I'm going to use as my daily driver from now on. But in fact, I prefer the TCL NXTPAPER 60 Ultra, and it's purely because of the screen. Now please, Samsung, Apple, OPPO, all the flagship smartphone manufacturers, please try and do something about the screens. Try and give us a matte screen, or at least give us a matte screen option. That would be very much appreciated. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, short though it is, please give it a like and maybe subscribe if you want to see more videos. I only do occasional videos, maybe one a month, because I buy these with my own money. They're not sent to me, so it's a kind of expensive hobby for me. But I enjoy looking at the different technology, and then I like to write a short review just to give my personal opinion of a smartphone. Now, everyone has different requirements and different needs out of a smartphone, so a matte screen may not be that important to you. You may prefer doing gaming and you want a fast, bright screen, and that is what the OPPO certainly does provide. I do like the software on the device. It's very good. It allows a bit of good customization without going over top. So it's not a bad phone at all. In fact, if I was looking at just the standard smartphones, if I hadn't been spoilt by the NXTPAPER technology, I would say it's the best phone of 2025. Thank you very much.